I feel so I feel happy today.
Yes, we do. Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday to you all. We hope that you all are having a wonderful or have already had a wonderful week. Looking forward to the weekend. I am Iris Owens, your host of the Autopsy of Her Healing, Evolving Resiliency. And on the line, as always, is my beautiful sister and co host. Good morning, honey bunny.
Good morning, honey bunny. Stephanie Deani Green. Good morning, everyone.
How are you today?
I'm good. I feel like all happy and bubbly.
Me too. You look happy and bubbly. And I don't know what it is, but today is like every day, right, is a new day and every day is a bright day. And I think the more you say that to yourself and the more you believe that, the more it makes today go better and doors open and things happen. And you have the opportunity to really sit back at the end of the evening and say, okay, what did I accomplish today?
uh,
And
uh,
and no matter how big or how small, just always remember that you did accomplish something. And I think that's really important for us to remind ourselves of.
I know that's
So,
right.
so today, as in our talks, as we always tell you, we have our pre-talk before we have the talk. So
Absolutely.
today, I am borrowing a topic from one of my dear sisters, and it's actually something that I believe it was her great grandmother, if not her grandma. So, Lisa, I'm gonna apologize now which grandma it was, but I do remember this saying. She's always said this, and she said her grandma used to say, "You can't dance every dance." And so that's what we're going to talk about today. You can't dance every dance, and it is end of month inventory, but it's end of month inventory of your life, right? Like, in business, there's an end of month inventory. Even if you're in sales, you have to do an end of month inventory to see what you sold, what you kept, what moved, what didn't move, what
Mhm.
worked, what didn't work. And so wouldn't it be interesting that at the end of each month of our own personal lives, right? Because a few weeks ago we talked about repackaging your relationships, but we realized that you can only start repackaging your relationships if you start inventory and repackaging the relationship with yourself first. Does that make
Absolutely.
sense?
Mhm.
Does that make
Yeah,
sense? Because that
absolutely.
was like the light. You're like, we were talking about it, but then I'm like, yeah, we got to go back a few steps because really you have to repackage your relationship with yourself on a monthly basis, sometimes on a daily basis or a
Mhm,
minute by minute because things change so drastically.
mhm.
So today we want to focus on what would it look like if you start to at the end of the month, like I said, you take inventory of your business, of your finances, of, if you're dieting or trying to change your body, inventory of what sort of exercises you did or what you didn't do or what you ate or didn't eat, those sort of things. So it's like you have a goal, right?
Mhm.
For most things in your life. But sometimes we fall back on the goal that we have for ourselves, that relationship with ourselves, because we forget to inventory ourselves.
Mhm.
And so what would it look like if at the end, so yesterday was March 31st, today is
Yeah.
April 1st, right? So
Mhm.
we're in a new month. If you inventory last month, what would you come up with? Like
For
what
me,
would
I would
yeah, what would
yeah.
you say you accomplished or didn't accomplish, or where you could change or tweak? What would you say?
I can honestly say like last month was this is the end of March, last end of February. I accomplished a lot and I hit a lot of my targets. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm still like still going through some things with my health. And I
Mm-hmm.
had so many doctor's appointments and so many tests. And, and
Mm-hmm.
I was at every single one of them, got every one of them done. It was some things I wasn't able to accomplish, but it wasn't because of me. It's because I had to deal with somebody, with other people. But
Right.
other than that, I was really pretty happy with February. We did our numbers at the store too, which was really good. We did really good for February because usually coming out of a holiday season, things, slow down a little bit. But I don't even give that no energy anymore. I'm not like we're still going to do numbers. It doesn't matter. It's some things I wish I had more time to do. Like I think I feel that I should be a lot further along in putting my new house together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. And then again, I just realized this month, in the month of March, I'm happy because it was a sofa that I kept saying, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get this. And then all of a sudden, and I wanted it when I was in my old house, but I didn't want to bring it there because I wanted to do a whole different look here. And I'm not going to get that sofa at all. So I'm so happy. I said to myself, I'm so happy.
Okay, so let's put a pin right there. Let's put a pin in that. You said two things: time,
uh,
that you were focused on something that you were like, I wanted to get this thing, but I wanted to get this sofa, but I didn't want to get it in the old house. So that's something else, right? Old
uh,
versus now new, right? Or moving forward. And
exactly.
then you realize, I don't want that sofa anymore. So what made you get there? How'd you get there?
Well, okay, one is like, but for some, it's just like even like in my business, my other business, my jewelry business, and I've had my jewelry business since 1995. No, actually 1993. Um, but I bring pieces in, and if I have a problem with a piece, we no longer carry it because I
Okay.
can't, it's not gonna keep coming back and forth. And what happened was I sold my cousin a house in September, and she saw it because I had it on my refrigerator, and she said, "Oh my God, I like that." I said, "You should get it," and she got it. Okay. I had to go put it together in her house for her. And then she said, it's tufted. And she said, "Oh, one of my buttons came off." It was from Raymore and Flanagan. And they came and they repaired it. But I can honestly tell you, it put a little taste in my mouth. Like, oh, okay. Yeah, I don't want that. I mean, they came right out and repaired it. And then I don't care like if I have something and somebody else, because I just think I don't care about stuff like that. Some people are funny with stuff like that. Oh, something I like that. I want it. Okay, because it's gonna look different. Whether it's something you wear, something you put in your home, it's always gonna look different when somebody else has it because it's a different type of energy that goes with everything you do. So I'm never that person. But then once I seen it in her house and it's beautiful, and I was like, and then the button came off, and then I actually I had a picture in I have a little thing that I keep stuff in that I like, and I saw the sofa, and I'm like, oh my God, I really, really love that sofa, but it was like $10,000, and I'm like, that's not the budget I want on the sofa, but I found something very similar to it that's
Mm-hmm.
like half of the price. And I'm like, oh, because that's kind of what I wanted, something cognac in the orange family. Because orange is like my favorite color.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny because even then, this was gray. My color scheme is like gray and orange. And I said that if that particular sofa came in orange, I would have gotten it. Or in like, in a shade of orange. And it
Mm-hmm.
didn't. So now to see something else. But the only thing I was all in everything's tufted. I love the tufted. You have to, because tufted things you just sit on and they look neat. You know what I mean? Whereas cushions get all smushy and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not tufted, not like that. It has tufting in it, but it's different. So that's the like probably the only thing that like I was like I'm 95% there, but I'm not 100% there.
But all that happened because it sounds like you took inventory. Like
Absolutely.
you did, you did a whole inventory of something that you said you wanted, right? And you did the greatest thing that what are we told when we have a goal that you should create? Like, so you created a little vision board, right?
Mhm,
Because you had this picture in front of you, or you had it with you so you could
mhm,
go and look at it and do all this. Then when someone else saw it and they said, oh, I like that, and you said you should get it, you didn't get in their way, you didn't block them, you didn't feel any way about it. Like, why would you want to get something that I already have, right? You were
mhm,
happy to share what this joy was that you felt this sofa was going to bring to you. Then you see the sofa, and then the sofa has a flaw, a slight flaw, but it has a flaw. It changed your mind about this now sofa. But you did a whole inventory about this sofa. And so this is what I'm saying. This is something that we need to do on a regular basis. Like, because sometimes, we will create this vision in our mind of things that we want for our lives, i.e. the type of job or career we have, how we
Mm,
do the job or career, right? How it
mm,
fits into the lifestyle that we want to have, right?
mm,
Or
mm,
we envision the car we want to drive. And so what do? You go and you test drive the car, or you've ridden in the car, whatever the case may be. You go and you touch it, you feel it, you test drive it. It gives you more connection to this thing. But
mm,
with our own life and emotions, sometimes we don't do that. Like, we get in a tailspin about stuff, and then we get upset about it, we get crazy about it, we lose sleep over it, we do all these things.
mm.
But did it change the situation? You changed the situation, because now you crazy, you running around, you're
Yep.
sweating, you're not
You're
sleeping,
spinning out of control.
you're either eating, overeating, or not eating, or eating all the wrong things, because you're all now stressed out, right? Your inventory is all out of whack. Like, you're out of
Mm,
whack, and you're just going on this energy that is not positive energy. So if you sat back and took inventory, and it's something I think we learn as we get older, and hopefully we all learn it, is that it really is true that when you're faced with the situation, and of course, we're always told you need to make a decision right now,
mm,
right? That there are moments that most moments, we literally need to step back, step out, go someplace, and really, really put this thing in front of us, out of our hands, and then really think about it.
mm,
Inventory everything, that when you make whatever decision you make, how is it going to impact?
mm.
And we really think that we do that now. I know, I think I do that, but we don't, because sometimes we're just so busy rushing to get to the next thing, and we're juggling, i.e., you can't dance every dance. You can't be everywhere. You can't be everything to everybody. You
No, no.
can't be all things. Even though we think I'm every woman, no, you are one woman.
Mm. Oh yeah. That's
One
that.
woman with one heart, one brain, two eyes, and a mouth, and,
Mm,
and limbs, and a body. But when your body is tired, what do? We just be like, oh, that's all right. I'm gonna just keep on moving. I got things to do. Right. Hear that?
no, I
You
mean
got
you can.
things to do.
Yeah, yeah, because you definitely your body will tell you. I mean, I will stop, but I just have a hard time relaxing.
Right.
But I get to like I've always been. I never forget when I ran off and eloped and got married when I was 23, and my mother said to me, she's like in the midst of everything, she was like, "But that's not you," and it never really has been me,
Mm,
just because of like a lot of things of the way that I am is because of all the things that happened to me, bad, good, or indifferent in my
mm-hmm.
childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to really be able, I started taking care of myself when I was 6 years old. So I had to really, think about all the things I was doing, you
Right.
know, I was supposed to do them or not do them. And my mother was like, "You're and I am that person.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna really like, I'm gonna think about." It. So she was like, "That was such a thing that you would never do." And it wasn't, but I was going through something at the time that just made me like, oh, this is a good idea, I mean, just
Right.
because I don't want to. I'm not really a dating person. I'm still not that person. I think that, oh my god, I meet this person and we work, then we should build together.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
me. So that was my thing. And not to mention listening to other people,
Mm.
like listening to my aunts, my mother's sisters, who were like, they're like already in their 60s, maybe some of them were going into their 70s, saying like, oh, you're not supposed to love people. You're supposed to find somebody you have something in common with, and then you grow together, whatever. You
Mm-hmm.
never fall in love with
You'll
people like
grow.
that.
You'll grow to like them, not even love them.
Yeah,
You'll grow to like
exactly.
them.
And so,
Yes. Right.
I'm thinking like, and then realizing that in that situation that I could not, like, I'm married to this man, but didn't want to have intimacy with him and all these things because I learned something about myself because I didn't love him, you know, and like, oh yeah, I realized that's not me. So I would never
Right.
do that again. And,
Right.
was able to move out of it after like literally 7 weeks. So, I know I sit, sometimes it, even when, when I was going, my son was like, it is taking so long for this divorce or whatever. But, and too, I was just very strategic about how I was doing, how I felt inside. Sometimes like, oh my God, I just want to just walk out this door and keep walking, just leave everything. But I knew that I could not do that.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I had to be smart in all the decisions that I made,
Mm-hmm.
even when it was like, oh my God, can I stay in this house? Can I afford to stay in this house? Was mm, uh, like I was thinking like, oh, I need to move because it would be financially beneficial to me to move. But something had me rooted there, and not knowing that when the pandemic showed up, I needed to be in that space.
Mm.
'Cause I needed for my
Right.
kids to be there. I didn't know it was, who knew, but here we go. And it was like, thank God I was here. So it all worked out. So I'm still really that person, to really, not to necessarily overthink things, but it's not many certain things that I've liked since I was like 6 and 7 years old. They haven't really changed. It's just
Mm.
added more things to the things I like, you know. It's like, it's just more of stuff I like. It's not like I'm still like a little girl, but it's like I knew so much about myself. I knew myself so well that it's like I still love those things. It's very few things I liked at that time that I say, like when you're certain things, even certain foods, basically a lot of foods I didn't the same foods I really don't care for now. I just have more options of different things. Never really liked eggs, really don't like eggs now. It's just different things. So, I was able, so I'm able to, I know a lot about myself and still learning because you're forever changing.
Right.
But that base of me, even with people, even with friends, I'm pretty good with that. I don't want myself to be, but I'm pretty good with that because I usually can call them and then I feel bad because if it's not a positive call about the relationship, I'll feel bad. So I'm like, oh, they're not like, then we start communicating, talking. I mean, I'm like, with that, whatever type of relationship, not just a romantic relationship. They're like, oh, they're not. Then when you become friends with them and they burn you, like, see, I do that. I saw that coming, what you went through anyway,
But but in that same vein, so life is about evolving, right? And so
Exactly.
I think that when we take time out to inventory, it helps our evolving in life
Mhm,
through life, right?
mhm,
Because for me, I know that I can be very impulsive. As
mhm,
I've gotten older, I have learned not to be so impulsive, but I can still be impulsive at times.
mhm.
Sometimes those impulsive become great things, and sometimes they could be like, what were you thinking? Right? Right. Because really, I probably wasn't thinking, or at least what I was thinking, I wasn't processing. I thought
Mhm,
it, but I didn't process it. I didn't inventory it. I didn't inventory it to the point of what was going to be all of the results, like the
mhm,
positive, the negatives, the what if, or what if that doesn't happen, then what?
mhm,
Because
mhm.
that's really what inventory is. You have to kind of play out every scenario. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. Because think about it, when you're
Sure.
dealing with your clients, you give your clients options,
Mhm,
right? You don't show them one house and say, this is the only house you're going to buy, right? You
mhm,
show them multiple homes that fit the must haves, the not necessarily, and this is something I didn't even think about if you have that to show, right?
mhm, mhm,
Sometimes you show them something outside of what they even ask because
mhm,
this could fit what they're looking for. So it fits inside of what they're envisioning, but it has so much more around it.
mhm,
Sometimes we have to look at our lives that way when you're looking at inventory your life. So at the end of every month, right? Even at the end of the week, to really sit down and say, okay, what did I accomplish this week? It's like, we've all lived through the dreaded to-do list. Some of
Mhm.
us love the to-do list, some of us hate the to-do list, but it is a necessary evil because it helps to keep you on track, and it helps to
Mhm.
keep you from sometimes, coloring outside of the lines, because in some lanes, right, or in some journeys, going outside of the lane can be dangerous, right?
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
sometimes you need to stay on, or as we say, stay in your lane. There's a reason for that, to
Mhm. Oh
stay
yeah,
in your
absolutely.
lane so you can stay focused, you can get to the end, to the destination, as opposed to, I took this detour, I took that detour. It's like being lost in the wilderness. If you had just followed the path, you would have reached your destination. But once you started doing what you wanted to do, now you lost and you can't
It's
find your way. And there
uh,
is no GPS.
okay.
You know how that is when you driving someplace, and all of a sudden your phone says, I'm sorry, the GPS is no longer working. What?
Yeah, it happens to me the other day. Yeah, yeah. You're like, oh my God.
God,
Oh,
right? So if you think about that, I don't know. Some of us learned how to drive by maps. I never learned how to drive via map. Like one day, and many times I think to myself, how did I get places before? Right? Before there was GPS, and I never used maps. So I'm always thinking to myself, how did I get places? I don't really know. I guess it was
you got the directions, like like that's how I
right.
think about
And I guess it
things,
was
the direction,
memory.
and then you're right, and then like and if you knew how to get to a basic place,
Yes.
what I mean, then like I never forget a good friend of well, we have lost touch since then, but she invited me to her wedding in Queens. I have been going to Queens like all my life, so I knew how to get to Queens. But the directions that I had, and it was sent from the wedding thing.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell you, I drove, I never was able to find the place.
Oh
You
my
know,
gosh.
exactly. Like the GPS is gonna take you right to. Well, they weren't always the best either.
No, and sometimes now they don't they will
They'll move you
misdirect you.
around. Yeah,
Sometimes they will misdirect you.
it misdirects me to my house. Well, not this house, but my other house. I'm like, why would they tell me to go to exit 8 when I get right off exit
Yes.
9 down the street? You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? So
Yes.
like, if you know the area, but they had, I can see the difference. That sometimes it'll take you so out of your way, it takes you so much longer. You know, but when you know it's like, because I say the same thing to myself when I'm so on the GPS. I'm like, what did we do before the GPS?
Yes.
When
And
I depend on it. Like
yes.
it's not a good feeling for me.
Right. So it's a thing. And so I
Mhm.
think, if we sat down and take a look at, so this week, today is Friday. It's April 1st. It's April Fool's Day. We're not going to trick
My niece's
anybody, right?
birthday. Happy birthday, Sharonda.
Oh, happy birthday, Sharonda. And so I think so today, right? Like, so this weekend, I'm going to challenge you. We're going to challenge you guys to sit down and take a look at your week and really figure out, what did I do really great this week, right? What did I do not so good? Or what did I really just mess up this week? Because you got to inventory the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent, right? Then I want you all to say, okay, if I didn't do it well, what did I need to do to have done it well and to have accomplished it? Then I want you to ask, how important was it? Like, where was it? Was it medium, or, mid, just normal? It was average, or was it high priority? Because sometimes we need to do that, because that changes your mindset of how you tackle something, right? So when you make your to-do list coming up for next week, I want you to really do that. Not just put stuff on the list, but to say, this is priority, it's high priority. This is, red alert. I need to get it done. I have to get it done. Well, this is just an average part of my day. It's something I need to do on a daily basis. And I know I need to do it. And I have a time set to do it. And then the stuff that is like, kind of mid-range, low priority, but still needed. So I want you all to do that this weekend, right? So when you make that to-do list for Monday, I want you to already have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, what needs to be done. And then on next Friday, right, we're going to talk about, again, what did you learn? And that's the biggest thing, to either figure out what are you learning at the end of each day or at the end of your week. What did you learn? Because we should always be learning. So
Yeah, always be learning, but I'm not like, I mean, I do keep track of what I'm doing because I have like a lot going on. But I when I actually go through my book like every day, you know what I
mm-hmm,
mean? Because I'm like, you know what I'm getting done or whatever.
mm-hmm,
But I don't I don't really think about how well I'm doing it. I just if I feel how well. I don't think about it, I feel it. When I know it's done well,
mm-hmm.
is that I feel good about it. If it feels good to my inner self, my spirit, then it's good. You know, I don't think you could really do it like, well, I mean, unless you really know, like, I didn't do myself justice or whatever I was doing justice. But for the most part, for me personally, yes, it's all good because you're never gonna get it done, you know, because you know we our spirits live on forever. You know, you're gonna get as much done as you can get done, but you're never gonna get it all done. So I'm always happy, and I kind of like learned that really when I first had started therapy, because I felt like I had to get done, I had to get done because I used to be a little rigid in certain
Mm-hmm.
aspects and it had to be done that, you know, I didn't know how to just like relax because the reality is, you know, if I didn't get it done today, you know, God willing, I would get it done tomorrow. If it
Right.
was something that, like you said, like I had, like the day that I had all these things I had to do, you know, paperwork, and I had to get it done that day. I had deadlines, got it done,
Right.
felt better, you know. But it's like for the most part, yeah, okay, it's good. I got that. I got my orders. I don't. I really try very hard not to overstress myself with whatever I need to get done. I'm not like oh I don't have any food to eat. It's always something to eat. I'll make a sandwich. I'll do something. You know I don't like oh you know gotta get to the store. You know you know I'll
Right.
figure. I always come up with I always come up with a solution in my head how to get it done. I know like one time a girlfriend called me like you want to go meet to a formal tomorrow? I'm like, it's Friday night at 11 o'clock. It was a daytime event. So we were leaving like at 11 o'clock in the morning. It's 11
Mm-hmm.
o'clock at night. I'm still on the road, not even home yet. And I'm like, yes. Okay, you know, it's like, you know, by the time I got home, I knew what I was going to wear, you know, and just like got with it. But, you know, like that, you know, so you just have to figure some things out on the fly. And, you know, you
Yeah, but
set
I'm
you,
not
and
saying stressing yourself out. That's not at all what I was saying. I
yeah,
was
no, I'm
simply
saying for
saying,
me,
I
I
think
can't be
sometimes,
overstressed.
I think at times we stress ourselves out with I was just saying to look at your to-do list to
Mhm,
see what is priority, what's medium, what's low. Because sometimes I think when we don't do that, that is how we stress ourselves out, i.e., sometimes we feel like I got to get it all done, or
mhm,
we're up late at night doing something like, does this thing have to be done tonight?
mhm,
Like, is it possible that you could go to bed, get rest, right? Recharge, regenerate yourself, your mind, your body, your spirit. And then, and if need be, then maybe get up an hour early the next day to be able to do what it was that you thought you needed to stay up to
mhm,
do, because now you're
mhm,
tired. It's been you've had a
mhm.
whole day, right? You running on empty. You're tired. Your mind is tired. Your brain is tired. Your spirit is tired. Your body is definitely tired. And yet you're saying, I'm going to stay here and do this thing. I'm going to work. You're not
Yeah,
working.
not working.
You're
Yeah,
not
not working.
working because
You know.
your body and your brain has said, go right ahead. I'm going to be over here when you get back.
Mhm,
I've
mhm. It's
I've
true.
had that experience of running and running and running and thinking I got this, until
Mhm,
I woke up with my car damaged, having driven on the median, tore up the
mhm.
bottom of my car, tore up the rims on my car, and stopped short of rolling my car to the lake.
Mm, wow.
Don't remember when that happened. Don't remember when my eyes closed, because I was on the phone talking to someone, driving.
Wow.
I was talking, driving on my way home. But when I woke up again, hear what I said when I woke up. One is not supposed to sleep while driving.
No, warning.
Warning, danger, Iris, danger, Iris, right?
Wow.
And if you think back, that's something that happens to us many times. We're driving and we fall asleep. Even if it's in that quick moment where your eyes shut and you wake up and you go, oh, shoot, right? That's your body saying, listen, I need you to pull over. I need you to go home. I need you to go to sleep.
It's true.
Like, let me recharge. And that's what I mean. We ignore that because we'll keep saying, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. But those are all the signals. Like, your body is saying, hello, can you please give me a moment to recharge, to get myself together? You think you're together, but I'm not together. And I'm trying to tell you, we're not together. Like, you want to go over here and your body's like, I'm going to be right here. Right.
It's true. That's definitely true.
And we don't understand that. It's just like when you have constant headaches and we say, oh, I got a constant, I suffer from migraines. Okay, but what is causing you to have a migraine? Because truly, any type of headache is really considered a migraine. Any sort of aching in your head is considered a migraine, right? I learned that from the doctor and I was like, really? I was like, a migraine? She's like, yeah, any sort of ache is really a migraine. Now, how the severity, right, the severity of it is where we get into the different levels, but it is still a migraine.
That's true.
So when you're tired, right, when you're sleep deprived, when you're hungry, when you're stressing and you're doing all these things and you're processing, your body is on overload. So consider the headache as a sign of saying, hello, it hurts in here.
Because I do
I'm tired. I need a rest. Like, I'm on burnout. Like, I'm getting ready to just overheat and explode. Take that time. It's the same thing when we say, okay, we're eating, right? And we're eating fast. We're eating and we're talking and we're drinking and we're working and we're doing it. And then all of a sudden you get this pain in your chest. It feels like somebody punched you in your chest. Okay, what happened? You're eating and you're drinking and you're talking and you're working and your body is saying, what are we doing? Like, you didn't even swallow. You didn't even swallow the food. You didn't know. I'm sorry. You didn't chew the food. You didn't chew it. You just swallowed it. And then you threw some water behind it, hoping that it's like a drain. Like, it'll just wash on down. No, your chest is going, your esophagus is going, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's a sign. Right. And we ignore it. We really ignore it. We laugh about how our mothers and our grandmothers and people teach you, you're not supposed to eat and talk. Don't talk with food in your mouth. Well, first of all, there are reasons for that, like I just explained. But also, if you're talking, you're not chewing, right? You're just literally putting it in and swallowing. And then you wash it down with some liquid. Does not work. Then you figure out, why does my stomach feel funny, right? Why do I feel like I didn't really eat? Because you didn't. Because the chewing, right, is what helps break the acid, breaks down the food in your stomach so that you get the nourishment from it. But if you're not doing that, well, then you've defeated the whole purpose. So that's what I mean about taking inventory. These simple things that we think, I'm running, I'm doing it, I got things to do. We eat in the car. I hate the fact that I eat in my car.
Yeah.
Because the car is not designed for eating, i.e., you trying to not get the sauce on your clothes, right? There's no place to put the food in front of you. So now you're dipping and you're eating and you're biting and you're oh, okay, wait, let me see. Oh, the light. Oh, okay. I think, you know what? I think the progressive commercials prove that we are not capable of all this multitasking that we believe we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're just not made that way, but we do it. So that's what I'm saying. Just take inventory, take stock of really planning your day out as best you can. And then, of course, we know there are things that will jump into your schedule that you had no idea that this was going to be needed. And when scheduling, consider this, as opposed to saying, I put myself an hour, put an hour and a half, right? To give yourself a buffer between meetings. Because when I know as a realtor, someone calls you, Steph, you're a realtor, someone calls you, you want to be of service. You want to make yourself available. And someone calls you at 6:00 on a Wednesday. And I'm saying this is a client, not a strange person just calling you out the blue. It's a client. I want to see this house. Okay, it's 5:15. I don't care where you live. 5:15, unless that house is around the corner from where your house is or your office is.
Pure traffic.
Pure traffic. So as opposed to saying to a person, you're not going to say to them, do you know what time it is? No. But you can say, okay, give me a minute. Let me see what's available. I'll get right back to you. But also when you're checking, you're looking to see, is this feasible to do right now? And you have to do that.
Of course.
You offer a service, but you want to also consider yourself in the processing, because sometimes we give away so much of ourselves in the name of I'm doing my job and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But you
want to give the best service, because
exactly.
when you're not at your best, you can't give your best.
Exactly.
So that's like, but that's with everything. That's definitely what I've learned. You have to, just like when you were saying, like doing stuff in the like evening when you're tired, all these kind of things, or you have these last minute, want you to do this, whatever.
Yes.
You have to be at your best. And if you're not at your best,
yes,
then you're not gonna accomplish those things.
You're not
at all. Or you will accomplish, they won't be done well because you weren't. You'll put the same type of energy into those things. This is like you go to cook a meal that you really don't feel like cooking. That meal is not going to taste good because you didn't put the love into the meal, because you didn't feel, you put right what into the meal, what you were feeling,
Right.
So that's really but that goes that goes all the way back to self-care though.
Yes.
Right? That's where
absolutely.
because we have to care for ourselves. People say that's selfish, but it's not selfish, because selfish means taking care. That it's not, well, you want to say it's selfish, but okay, it's selfish because if you don't have anything to give, you can't give from an empty vessel.
Right.
You have to fill yourself up. That's just like when the airplane goes down, they say put the oxygen on yourself first.
Right. So that you can help. Yes, the next person.
Your babies, your other people, but you said you have children. If you can't feed yourself and nourish yourself, how can you feed and nourish your kids and give them everything that they need?
Correct.
So we have gotten it all backwards. Let's just don't replenish what we need and just keep pouring and pouring and pouring. And next thing either they're looking at you because you teach people how to treat you, even your children.
Yes.
Even your spouse.
Yes.
And if you don't treat yourself well, trust and believe they can be selfish enough that they won't treat you well either.
No.
And
they'll see you running yourself into the ground and they'll just help you keep running.
Exactly. Oh, mommy, I need this. Mommy, I need that.
Right.
But you teach about it's very, really, really important.
Like my daughter, before she learned how to drive, I would get home, from work. And I wasn't a realtor then, so I didn't have just, I worked for someone. I had a set schedule of time to work. And I would get home, let's say 5:30, 5:45. Oh, I need to go to Walmart. You need to go to Walmart for what? I need to go to Walmart. And this is like she had a Walmart, every day. You're in junior high school. What could you possibly need from Walmart every day or every other day? Oh, I need new colored pencils. Oh, I need this. And oh, I need that. I said, I'm not going to Walmart. Do you see the traffic out there? So now I've just driven home. I've worked all day. I've driven home. But then somehow I still end up finding myself that I'm going to Walmart. And I was like, you know what? No Walmart. You have to learn that, okay, this is not a priority. And like anything else, when you go to Walmart, let's get what you need from Walmart. Walmart is not walking distance, it's not around the corner where every other moment. But what I did realize and what she realized once she became a driver, she's like, oh, I'm not going, no. You see? But prior to, and one of my friends said, as they get older, they cannot wait until they're like retired and older. They're going to say to their kids, I want to go to Walmart at 5:30, but I want to go to Walmart across town, not even the one in the neighborhood, because I want to return to you what you have given to me all those years. So that's how you got to look at it, right?
They will get you, because I
Yes.
never forget, my mother came home. She really didn't always come home early on Fridays.
Yes.
But this day, you know, I was, and maybe it wasn't even a Friday. I can't remember. I could be wrong about the day, but I had gotten a rash. You know, I don't know what I got into, but I got a rash, and it was on my back. It was real itchy too, and literally, I was standing at the front door. And I was like, you got to take me to the emergency room. You got to take, I was like 13, 14 years old. And honey, she did not want to hear nothing about no emergency room. She was looking at me like, you have lost your mind. I'm like,
Yes.
are we going to the emergency? And then, like, I think she was like, yeah, because you used to live in a hospital. I better take you to the emergency room. And
Right.
sure,
Right.
I had gotten some type of virus or whatever. And so but she was not happy about it at
No.
all.
No.
But I was like, because I couldn't, it was nobody else, because I always had to find people to take me. But I think I
Right.
knew she would come home early that night that she could
Mm.
take me. I got to get to the emergency room. I got,
And
and lucky
she's
enough,
looking at you. Look, like we used to tell our kids, go put some alcohol on it. It's
because,
like,
like, we
if
have
it's
an
like,
eczema
if
and
it's
all this
not,
kind of stuff.
if the house is not fire or not on fire, you're not bleeding, it hasn't fallen off, go put some alcohol. And our kids used to say, are you guys serious? And we go, yeah, what's wrong?
The youth
But
are,
of
and
course,
looking out the emergency room, it's like nobody in there. You're just in
yes,
and out. You know what I mean? We were
yes,
there like for less than an hour. And he was like, "Oh shit, if I give me some antibiotic, whatever."
yes.
But it's like, yeah, but I have gotten that from my kids, and like, oh, I gotta go, and you didn't get home early. You know what I mean? When honey, I couldn't wait to get that girl in the car. You could drive yourself. Drive
Yes,
yourself to
yes. And
school.
then
She could
they have a
go.
totally different. I'm not driving. I don't, like every time we're going somewhere with, I'm like, here's the keys. He goes, oh, I'm driving. Yes, you are. Yes, you
Oh, I
are.
know now. They don't, especially my daughter. She don't want to drive her car. I'm not trying to get miles on my car like you have. You know, you
See?
want me to drive? She want to
See?
drive. I got to put gas in my car. I can
Yes,
use
yes.
gas.
That's the only way
Gas
it works, honey. That's the only way it works, babe. Unless you're going to
but
get an electric car. And even with the electric car, you have to charge it to make sure that it's ready to
exactly.
go.
But do
Yes,
you pay car insurance on anything? No, you don't pay. I pay the car insurance on your cars, and you can't take me where I want to go. Like,
yeah, yes.
I'm like, okay, let's see about that.
See,
You know,
so
I don't know.
that's so this today was all about to remind us, each of us, myself, Steph, each of you, remind yourselves, you cannot dance every dance. Like there are things that they can wait, or they can just not happen at all. As Steph said,
Absolutely.
there was a sofa she wanted. That's how we started today. She had a picture of it. She was envisioning it. She was creating a room in it, with it in it. And then realized, I don't need that. I don't want it.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's what we got to do. We got to realize I don't need it and I don't want it.
And then you'll realize, like, this is like what I really want. It's so funny. It's like every time it's time for me to get a new car,
Mm-hmm.
I'm always like the car, like why did I end up getting that car?
Yeah.
Not that, but no, really, it's the weirdest thing, because okay, oh yeah, I wanted that car. I mean, when I got it, I wanted it, but oh, how did I get to that point, kind of thing?
Yes.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
What led
Because
me to that car?
yeah, it was
Right.
in it's the okay, oh, because that was the last time you were gonna get that car before, then you got the other car, now you got this car, you know what I mean? So it just kind of goes around. So
Yes.
I kind of learned my own little pattern now. So I'm gonna get my new car, but it's a car that I was thinking about getting before I got my other car. But
Mm-hmm.
that was like almost, 15 years ago. But
There
now I'm
you
gonna get
go.
this now.
There you go. Oh, I
Because
think I know what car that is.
what car is it?
Are you getting a Porsche?
My Porsche, yes.
See,
Yes, my
now see, I just want you all to know that's how well I know her. You
I
heard what she said? 15. I remember when she said she was gonna buy that car 15 years ago, and I go,
I was gonna get the Cayenne.
get the Cayenne. And I
I was
said, you're gonna
get the
spend that much money on a car?
Yes, I would get the Cayenne. I mean,
See?
first I saw one, I had a fit, but it's funny. I'm not gonna get the Cayenne. I'm gonna get the Panamera.
Okay.
But I was getting the Cayenne, but then I ended up getting the Lexus
Yes.
IS.
Yes.
And I know I love that car, but that's the car I wanted before I got my new Volvo. I was
Yes.
looking at the Lexus. Then the guys on the body child style was gonna change, and then next thing I know, I ended up getting that car.
Yeah.
But then before that car, I looked at the Mercedes, and then this time I got the Mercedes, and so now I'm gonna get. But the one thing I have, like, I haven't gotten a white car. I keep saying I'm gonna get a white car, and I'm gonna get a white Porsche. I'm gonna
Okay.
get the white. Although I saw a silver one, I keep getting these silver cars.
Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Stay in your
But no,
lane.
actually,
Stay
my
in your
license
lane.
is red. 'Cause I only buy certain color cars. I don't
Yes.
buy black cars because you gotta wash because I don't take my cars to get washed often enough. And I buy red, silver, or white.
Okay.
Even though I like other color cars, I just like those color cars. I like to look at those other cars, but I only buy certain color cars. So now it's time for a white car.
Well,
So anyway,
congratulations on getting what you want. So,
exactly. Oh,
so I
exactly.
wanted, so we're gonna end this in saying, remember to take inventory, because see, taking
Absolutely.
inventory, it does, it leads you to what it is that you're wanting, that you're
Mhm.
desiring, or it leads you to realize, I don't need that, right? It also leads you to, I need to rest,
Mhm.
right? Or I need to step back and say, let me really look at the picture of this thing and see how I can change the trajectory of this. Like, because right now I'm like spinning out of control over here, and I need
Mhm.
some order. I need to get back in the lane, right?
That's
I
true.
need to I need to stop hitting the sides and bumping the road, and the things in the road to wake you up, the things that make you go boop, 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 boop. You're like, oh, right? You don't want to do that. So remember that.
Yeah.
Take
You want to align
inventory.
yourself.
Take
You got
time.
to
Slow
center
down.
yourself.
Woosah.
Mhm.
Yes,
It's
woosah. Take it seriously. Get yourself together. Right. Rub. Yes, right. This right. Right.
it's
Learn that you cannot dance every dance. And also adding to that, that no is what? A complete sentence.
Oh, now that's the
Without
question.
explanation or any sort of punctuation.
Hmm.
It's a complete sentence, and it's okay to use. So I hope that you all garnered something great today. I did. I think this is like really great, because we need to remind ourselves a few times, not every day, but we need to remind ourselves that truly we cannot dance every dance. And when you do
But
dance,
I honestly tell you, but
dance it
that's so
more.
true. But if you have a dog or dogs, a lot of that stuff goes out the window because they are the boss of you.
That part. Yeah, that's
Take me
sleeping
out
in
now.
late.
I want
Yeah,
to eat now.
right now. I need to go out now. Yeah. Yeah. Dogs, you know what's so funny about that? Dogs and babies will check you
Yep.
all the
Yep.
time, let you know
All the
you are
time.
not the boss of me. You are right
Yep.
about that.
Yep. So I'm like, yeah, a lot of that goes out the window. I can tell you because I do not miss Dash screaming at the top of the steps. So I'm taking
You're right, because he needs to go.
I called my daughter the other night. I said, "You tired?" Yeah, because she just got him from class. Yeah, now I gotta take Dash out. Okay, well, I'll talk to you later. Y'all have fun.
Y'all have a good night. Love you. Bye.
I'm out.
Oh my God. I love that. I love it. Well, we thank you all so much for joining us today. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a wonderful weekend. Be blessed. Take some time out, do your inventory, but just remember, you can't dance every dance. Love you all.
Well, take your
Steph?
time. Enjoy yourself. Have a great weekend. Definitely. And try to meditate. That's what we need to talk about, meditating.
Yes.
At
Yes,
least
right.
15 minutes a day. That'll change your life.
It definitely will. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Next week's
Have a good
topic.
weekend, everyone.
All right. Have a great
Bye.
weekend. Love you, honey bunny.
Love you too, honey bunny.
All right.